From humble beginnings to dazzling showrooms packed with the latest cars, Ferrari, Bugatti, and Lamborghini have built legacies that will last for centuries. In this video, we'll be talking about the success stories behind these automotive giants, showing how they conquered speed, style, and the hearts of billionaires worldwide. So without further ado, let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about the legendary Ferrari. The idea of Ferrari was born with Enzo Ferrari in 1898. An Italian boy born into a middle-class family, one of the most significant events in young Enzo Ferrari's life came at the age of 10 when he saw Felice Nazzaro win at Circuito di Polona in 1908. This occasion motivated him to take up racing. However, his early years also came with a lot of hardship. In 1916, the Italian flu epidemic claimed the lives of both his father and older brother, Alfredo Jr. This left Enzo with the responsibility to take care of his family. Things got even tougher for Enzo when World War I started and he was drafted into the Italian army. Illness forced him to leave the army, and by the time he recovered, his family's business had completely collapsed. They were left with nothing. But even with all these setbacks in his life, Enzo refused to give up. After the war ended, Enzo took his first step into the automobile world by working as a test driver for CMN in Milan. The job wasn't glamorous, but Enzo knew he had to start from somewhere. Then in 1920, he joined another company by the name of Alfa Romeo, and that's where things really took off. Enzo proved himself both on the racetrack and as a manager. In 1932, Enzo chose to retire from racing and focus on managing and developing the Alfa's race cars. As time went on, he assembled a race team of superstar drivers called Scuderia Ferrari. After winning a race in Ravenna, Enzo met the Baracca family. Francesco Baracca's mother, Paolina, suggested he use her late son's prancing horse symbol for good luck. Enzo thought it was a great idea and made it the symbol of his team. In 1939, everything changed. Enzo had a falling out with Alfa Romeo and the situation turned ugly. That's when the mastermind decided to start his own company, Ferrari SPA. The first Ferrari car, the 125S, hit the roads and tracks with mind-blowing success. The brand quickly made a name for itself, securing big wins like the 1949 24 Hours of Le Mans. But Enzo's dream was so much bigger. He didn't just stop at building fast cars. He also worked hard on becoming a dominant force in racing. Scuderia Ferrari joined Formula One in 1950, and to this day, it remains the oldest and most successful team in the sport. In fact, Ferrari is the only brand to have been part of Formula One continuously since its start. Beyond F1, Ferrari has conquered iconic events like Le Mans in France and Daytona in Florida. Ferrari's rise to domination has been nothing short of incredible. The brand has managed to become a global symbol of luxury and speed. It's one of the most valuable automotive brands in the world, with its worth estimated at over $50 billion. And it's all thanks to Enzo Ferrari's dream of creating the ultimate race car. Today, Ferrari isn't just a car, it's a lifestyle symbol. Now let's shift gears and talk about the world of Bugatti. Bugatti has always been in a league of its own. But how did this legendary brand come to life? Let's start at the beginning with its genius founder, Ettore Bugatti. Ettore was born in Italy in 1881. Growing up in a family full of artists, Ettore inherited a passion for design and craftsmanship, but instead of painting, he chose cars. From a young age, Ettore started making waves. By the time he was a teenager, he landed an apprenticeship at an engineering firm in Milan. At the age of 21, he built his first working car models and quickly climbed the ranks in the auto industry. His talent was unmatched, and he quickly grabbed everyone's attention with his work. By 1903, he created his first race car, the Type 5, and it was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. But despite his natural abilities, Ettore had a habit of ignoring general production car design in favor of designing race cars, and his strong personality caused him to clash with his fair share of higher-ups. So, after a string of disappointments and terminations, he finally secured investment to open his own factory in Molsheim. Just like that, Automobile's Ettore Bugatti was officially open for business. The first real Bugatti, the Type 13, came shortly after. It was light, fast, and completely different from the heavy cars of its time. Just a year later, the Type 13 won at the French Grand Prix, setting the tone for Bugatti's dominance in racing. But then came World War I, and things slowed down. Production took a huge hit, and everyone was worried about how the company would survive. But not Ettore. He knew his cars would be famous one day. Ettore turned his attention towards designing aircraft engines for the military, which paid off big after the war. In the 1920s, Bugatti took over the racing world with models like the Type 30 and the legendary Type 35. This era marked the start of wins that would cement Bugatti's place in the automobile industry. The Type 35 alone racked up over 2,000 wins, including 5 straight victories at the Targa Florio race. Then there was the luxurious Type 41 Royale, which is still one of the largest and priciest cars ever made. The 1930s brought a lot of lows for the company. Ettere's son Gian took over the company and began to design masterpieces like the Type 57. But then Gian's tragic death in 1939, followed by World War II, brought tough times. Bugatti's factory was seized, and although it was returned after the war, the company struggled. Then, in 1947, Ettere passed away, and by 1956, Bugatti stopped production. Until 1998, many attempts were made to revive the company, but it wasn't until Volkswagen bought Bugatti that things truly took off again. They kicked things off with the Veyron in 2005, a car so fast and powerful, it redefined the industry. Bugatti didn't stop there. Year after year, they've come up with jaw-dropping designs with unmatched luxury. The Bugatti story is a shining example that determination always pays off. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at Lamborghini and its journey to conquering the world. Ferruccio Lamborghini grew up in a farming family, but he was always more interested in engines than tractors. He had a natural gift for mechanics, and at a young age, he decided he was going to make a name for himself in that industry. He attended the Technical Institute of the province of Bologna, where he studied mechanics. During World War II, Ferruccio served as a mechanic for the Italian Royal Air Force. But as the war came to an end, Ferruccio found himself a prisoner when the Allies took over. However, after recognizing his mechanical abilities, they allowed him to spend the year fixing their vehicles instead of being detained. After his release in 1946, Ferruccio returned home to Italy with a clear vision for his future. He took excess military parts left behind by the Allies, used them to build tractors, and set up his own business on his family's farm. And this is how Lamborghini Trattori got started, quickly making a name for itself with its affordable tractors. By the early 1950s, Lamborghini Trattori had become a major player in the agricultural industry. Ferruccio's success allowed him to expand into other sectors, including air conditioning and heating systems through Lamborghini brakes. On the other hand, what brought Ferruccio's happiness were cars, but there was a nagging problem. No car ever completely satisfied him. In the mid-1960s, he was dissatisfied with his own personal Ferrari, especially its clutch. So he took it to his factory to get it checked out. When Lamborghini's team checked the clutch that was causing all the issues, they were shocked to find that the clutch used in Ferrari's luxurious cars was the same one used in Lamborghini's tractors. He decided to pay a visit to Ferrari's creator, Enzo Ferrari, to talk to him about this. But Enzo was not someone who took criticism lightly. When Ferruccio pointed out the problem, Enzo snapped back, claiming the issue wasn't with the clutch, but the driver's inability to drive a Ferrari without breaking it. Enzo even said to Ferruccio that, "Let me make cars. You stick to making tractors." Ferruccio walked away from the meeting with only one mission in his mind: to build his own cars that would overtake Ferraris in quality and performance. It was from that day forward that Lamborghini's mantra was born: to create the perfect car, better than anything Ferrari had ever built. This was the birth of Automobili Lamborghini in 1963. The first Lamborghini model, the 350 GT, made its debut in 1964, and the company quickly became known for its luxurious, powerful cars with sleek designs and a focus on performance. Over the years, Lamborghini has faced many challenges, including financial struggles and ownership changes. So much so that in 1973, Lamborghini went bankrupt and was sold to a group of Swiss investors. But the company refused to let its setbacks define its legacy. Today, the supercar company is still going strong, selling more cars every month than it can produce. Well, that's it from my side today, folks. Head to the comment section and share your thoughts on these legends. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more motivating stories like these.